7 major features of World of Warcraft: The War Within 11.0. Let's see what Mr. GM has to say about the 7 major features coming in the expansion this August.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about the War Within, which is the next expansion to World of Warcraft and the 10th expansion of World of Warcraft and the first installment of the World Soul Saga. This was announced at BlizzCon 2023 and in this video we're going to go through all of the major features you can expect from this expansion releasing next year. But before we jump into that, guys, just want to shout out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. You're going to see me stream World of Warcraft, Dragonflight PTR and more.
The Mr. GM.
Twitch.tv/MrGM
follows the channel
day, right?
Just
so
saying.
Yes, the War
cool
Within,
guy.
Midnight, and the Last Titan were all announced at BlizzCon 2023. Now, the War Within is going to be the next installment of World of Warcraft, as mentioned. This will be releasing late next year with the beta starting around the spring. And at BlizzCon, we got so much information about this expansion, just through different panels and announcements and interviews and things like that. But in this video, we're going to look at the 7 major features which are coming in this expansion. So let's start with new zones. In the War Within, we will have a brand new level cap of level 80 and a brand new continent called Kaz Algar.
I think I'm going to spend a lot of time here. I just love the Hobbit feel of this. This looks like the Shire, man. This is a dwarf Shire. That's what it is. I freaking love the aesthetic of this zone.
Of level 80 and a brand new continent called Kaz Algar. Now, this was rumored for a while, and all of the fake leaks on MMO Champion did also mention Kaz Algar. So yes, the continent of Kaz Algar is kind of a stacking continent, similar to how Zeralak Cavern works, with kind of the airlock technology as you fly through the zones, which is actually really cool. So you'll start on the Isle of Dawn, which is on the western coast of Pandaria. From there, you'll head into the Ringing Deeps, which is just below this zone, and then from there, you'll head into Hallowfall.
I would say Ringing Deeps is probably the least interesting zone of all the zones they've revealed so far. There's going to be like a mixture of dark and light parts of it, supposedly like parts where it's open to the surface and there's a bunch of vegetation because the sun's coming down and all that. We'll see how cool this zone is. We haven't seen too many clips of it, but it's the one that I'm least excited for.
And then from there, you'll head into Hallowfall.
Okay, Hallowfall's going to be amazing, badass. The lore already, these freaking amazing looking paladins running around. You got the original Arathi humans who found this place, who basically founded this place. The giant crystal. Yeah, this place is going to be really cool. Hallowfall is going to be badass.
And then at the very end, you'll go into Azj-Kahet, which is a Nerubian kind of empire.
A Nerubian aesthetic, very badass. Can't wait to see this place.
All of these zones look absolutely phenomenal. Personal favorite has got to be Hallowfall. I love that huge gem in the top of the sky. They've said that all of these zones won't feel like you're underground, which is really nice. Kind of Zeralak Cavern did feel a little bit depressing after a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't really feel that.
That was one thing. The whole underground theme, I kind of got old pretty quick, but I'm glad Hallowfall looks like it's outdoors technically. The zone beneath the surface, the one that I said was not that interesting, that one's going to have some sunny spots to it. Really, the only one that's completely underground and looks that way is going to be Azj-Kahet, which is cool because it's a Nerubian zone, so you'd expect it to be underground.
Way in Kaz Algar. But yes, from the very start of the expansion, we will have 4 brand new zones to explore. They look very, very cool and very unique, and obviously dragon riding and things like that will be enabled in these zones, but more about dragon riding in a little bit. But yes, Kaz Algar is going to be the
dynamic flying, that's what's
of the next expansion. Going into dungeons and raids now, we will have 8 dungeons at launch for the War Within. We have 4 level up dungeons that include the Rookery, the Stone Vault, the Priory of the Sacred Flame, and the City of Threads. At max level, we'll have...
Nice. Rookery, I don't know, probably some dwarf shit. Stone Vault, probably some more dwarfy shit with the new Stone Dwarf boys. Priory of the Sacred Flame sounds like it's going to be related to Hallowfall in some way. You know, with the new light and all that, and then City of Threads, I think that's going to be Nerubian themed.
4 more dungeons called the Cinderbrew Meadery, the Dark Flame Cleft, the Dawnbreaker, and the Old City. I don't think it was...
Okay, interesting. Cinderbrew Meadery, probably, again, more dwarfy surface theme. Dark Flame Cleft. I wonder what that's going to be. Maybe another, Hallowfall related. The Dawnbreaker, maybe Hallowfall again. I don't know. They're going to have a lot of Hallowfall themed here. And then Old City, again, probably Nerubian.
It's confirmed whether or not we're going to have like old dungeons in the Mythic
Rookery
Plus
will deal
once
with
again. I don't think anyone actually asked about that. If they did, let me know down below. But yes, we will have 8 brand new dungeons coming with this expansion. And on top of that, the first raid of the expansion is going to be the Nurabar Palace. This is a 8-boss raid in Azj-Kahet, which actually is really interesting. So they actually showed like a map of where all the bosses are. It looks pretty different to a lot of raids that we've seen
Wow.
before. This is going to be a
I haven't seen that. I didn't. What the hell? I missed this at BlizzCon. Got a lot of bosses here. How many bosses is this? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. An 8 boss raid? What is this? Harvest pits. What the hell? Are these two different images of the same thing?
Rubian themed raid, and I'm very looking forward to it. So yes, 8 new dungeons from launch, and
Oh yeah, it is. It's two different images of the same thing, I think.
course, a new raid with the new season. Also in the War Within, we are getting a brand
8
new
bosses, yeah.
race. We are getting a new allied race, specifically called the Earthen. Now, these
Yeah.
are based off of dwarves, but are slightly taller than...
My whole thing about the Earthen is I would have wanted their crystals to maybe clip through the armor. You know, Blizzard doesn't give a shit about clipping, but I don't know how these guys are going to look once you put armor on them. We got bearded women too, fantastic. I don't know how it's going to work. Because they look like dwarves. I think somebody said not too long ago that they're going to be taller than typical dwarves, so maybe that height difference will be the way you can tell. But otherwise, I feel like if you put a helm on these guys and fully armor them out, they're just dwarves.
dwarves. Now, we've seen Earthen before throughout World of Warcraft, but these are going to be playable ones. Now, this race does support gear and transmog and things like that, so you don't need to worry about that, but it is very cool looking. So it is essentially a dwarf, but kind of a rocky, gem bedazzled dwarf. These will be available for the Alliance and Horde, so yes, we are getting Horde
and
dwarves.
that's the only thing that really benefits from this is the Horde. I don't think the Alliance is really gaining much out of
The classes available for this will be 10 out of the 13, so that'll be Death Knight, Hunter, Mage, Monk, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, Warrior. So yes, basically
these guys gonna be able to be Death Knights? Damn.
Class apart from Evoker, Druid, and
Fuck
Demon
the lore,
Hunter,
right?
which is very exciting. Death Knight, don't know how that's going to work. That's going to be interesting. They will, of course, come with a Heritage Armor, which you will be able to unlock once you've got your
cool. That's a cool looking Heritage Armor set.
And unlocking this race will require you to complete the max level campaign on Kaz Algar, and there's no reputation to grind. So essentially completing the max level campaign in the War Within will get the Earthen unlocked.
See, like, how could you even tell this is a Earthen? Like, I understand maybe the face is yellow, but if he was wearing a helm, where's the difference here? The crystals are all, everything's covered. I don't get...
Is very exciting. So yes,
that's that exciting
a new
of a
race,
race
the Horde
person.
Alliance coming in this new expansion. The next feature we're going to talk about in the War Within is a feature called Delves. Now, Delves are a new evergreen endgame pillar for World of Warcraft. These are kind of targeted towards outdoor world players and players that don't really do Mythic Plus or raiding, which is actually really exciting and something that's definitely for me. Now, these are quick adventures up to 1 to 5 players and are role agnostic. So you can bring 5 DPS or 5 tanks or 5 healers or whatever you want. It does not matter in this mode, which is actually really cool. And doing it solo, yeah, that's probably going to be something I'm going to be doing a lot. Now, what they've said about this is this essentially has taken lessons learned from Torghast, Islands, and Scenarios. When they first announced it, it did...
maybe unpopular opinion, I think Islands could have been so cool. I think Islands were actually kind of fun, and unfortunately, I feel like they got cut short because the Blizzard teams had to go fix Azerite armor, so they had to go all hands on deck to do that. But I feel like Islands, had it progressed the way they wanted it to, would have been a really cool feature going forward. I thought maybe we'd get some in 10.2.6 with the pirate patch. You know, exploring islands would have been cool. But I don't know if that patch is ever going to drop anymore.
Kind of sound like it is sort of like Torghast, but hopefully a little bit better than that. This actually offers meaningful progression as well, which is really cool. And Delves will actually be included in seasonal content. So from this, you'll get seasonal rewards such as mounts. You're actually going to get a customizable mount, which is really cool.
This looks really cool.
And you'll obviously unlock parts of that throughout the different seasons. Cool. Pets, of course, and achievements.
There's literally side, front, back, top. There's 4 different customizations you can put on here. The first one we've seen is the Algarian Storm Rider, the one that you get with the pre-order for the expansion. That's a customizable Griffin mount, and I'm guessing this is going to build on that. We're probably going to get more and more of stuff like this after Dragon Riding happened.
There'll be 12 of these available on launch, but an extra one, which will be like a hidden one, which is kind of cool. Also, as well, you're going to have a seasonal NPC every single time following you around and helping you out in these delves.
Cool.
Think of it kind of like Chromie in the Death of Chromie scenario. These will have customizable loadouts and apparently is smarter than the smart AI. So they've definitely got some new tech working with that.
Nice.
Season 1 will have Bran Bronzebeard following you around in your delve adventures. But of course, at the end of your delves, you'll be getting a bunch of loot. And they're actually adding a new outdoor road to the Great Vault, which is really cool.
This is why I think delves are very cool, because they're bringing relevancy to world activities. The Hearthstone event is just another reminder of how great open world activity can be. How it's been so much fun. I don't give a shit about Hearthstone, But damn it, this event has been so much fun because it just makes the server feel alive. It's like, wow, I'm not playing this game by myself. No way. This is crazy. And it's different than just forming up a raid and going into a raid. That's content by itself that's different. When I see people gathered up in the open world, there's just a different feeling to it. It just feels so cool. You don't care about Hearthstone because it requires thought, Sam? True. True. And I am no thought. There you go. Yeah. So open world content, I feel like could become relevant again. This because like look at this. It says complete one delve or world activity. I'm hoping that they really start to go deeper into this world activity thing and start to create some really cool like the Hearthstone scenario. Maybe make a reward for raiding the opposing faction's or main capital city like Orgrimmar or Stormwind. Just creating reasons for players to get together and do world content. Open the gates of Ankh-Moraj again, something like that. But I would love to see that become relevant and give you vault shit. That would be so cool.
Cool. So the Great Vault will now have kind of delve
Stupid
requirements.
idea.
So depending on how many delves you do in the week, we'll unlock some rows on the Great Vault.
Social
which give
interaction in my
rewards at the
MMO.
end of the week. And finally, of course, with delves, you will be getting a bunch of really fun, cool transmog. So yes, very much looking forward
Cool
to that. It's pretty
transmog,
much
yeah.
my second most hyped feature for the War Within because my absolute most
Yeah.
hyped feature is the next one we're going to talk about.
Ooh, what
and
is
that is Warbands.
yes.
Warbands is yet again another evergreen system coming to WoW, which I am ecstatic about. I literally cannot wait for this to come in. I wish we had it right now.
Yeah, an
so
alt
this is
player's
a quality
dream,
of life
wet
feature
dream.
for players with multiple characters. Warbands allow banks, reputation, transmog to be shared across all of
This
your
is good.
characters. So when the pre-patch for the War Within comes in, there'll be a bunch of things which are now going to be account-wide. So your transmog collection, that does include collecting transmog. So an example
Cool.
I like to give is that if you're running Molten Core on a Warrior and the Paladin tier drops, you will now be able to collect that Paladin tier even if you're not a Paladin, which is very exciting. So
Yeah, that's cool.
you're going to be able to collect all of the transmog from running the dungeons and the raids. That's going to be one of my favorite features by far. The War Within reputations will also be account-wide as of
Right.
the launch of the War Within. They did say they are looking into
It's
doing...
not, yeah, they said it's not going to be everything right away, but they're going to retroactively keep working it through. So eventually all of your reputations will be cross warband or cross account.
Dragonfly and legacy reputations as well, which is definitely a massive pain point for me for alts, and I hope that comes in sooner rather than later.
Right.
Flight Pass will also be account-wide along with delves. Achievements, like all achievements, will now be account-wide. You'll have an
Nice.
account-wide bank, and some items will be kind of warband until...
No more mailing stuff to yourself. Yeah, account-wide bank. Just put things in your bank. That finally.
And some
about time with
items
that
will
one.
be kind of warband until equipped, which sounds like an interesting feature. Also,
cool.
warbands are getting a new login
This is why I like warbands. This right here. Because I'm not an alti guy. You know, I've said it before. I am my Death Knight and my Death Knight is me. I only play my Death Knight. He's the only thing I play. So I don't really have alts, but what I'm probably going to do is just have 4 Death Knights standing in the screen just to look aesthetically badass. But what I really care about is this background. This background. If they can start to integrate this background with your achievements, make some customization options to it, that would be badass. Like imagine, you know, like a boss's head on this pike right here. Like there's just a boss's head sitting here after you've killed him on and you've gotten AOTC. Maybe some cool items, maybe invincible sitting here in the background if you've looted him. That kind of stuff would be really cool. Customizing this entire thing so that way your home screen is just very unique and badass, and where your warband's sitting is just based on what you've done in the game. I think there's a lot of potential behind this this warband screen.
screen for your characters. They kind of showed a concept of this at BlizzCon. It looks phenomenal, and obviously you can just pick
They'll
and
just
choose
sell
what characters you can
backgrounds,
have
yeah.
on that login
You're
screen.
probably
However,
right.
warbands will be across your entire account, so all of your characters will be
4
linked
Death Knights
through
to
this
farm
warband
mods, yeah.
system, and it's something that they're looking to expand in the future as well, which is super cool. Moving on into dynamic flight and riding, we're getting some cool updates with this in the War Within. So dragon riding is here to stay. It will be a permanent feature of World of
Great.
Warcraft. It's
I'm
going to be
glad.
renamed to dynamic flying, and then the TBC flying, the kind of old school flying, is going to be called static flying. Now this is something you will be able to switch between, so if you just want to do dynamic flying, you can do that, or if you just want to do TBC static flying, you can.
Man,
also
the
do that
Griffin,
as
I
well.
really like the Griffin animations. That looked really cool when he did the spin there. I haven't seen these clips before. But they did a really good
between. So
job
if
with
you just
this.
want to do
Look at the
dynamic
wings.
flying, you can do
The way they
that. Or if you
unfold. I
just want
like
to do
that.
TBC
Damn.
static
Looks
flying,
great.
you can also do that as well with a simple spell in your spellbook, presumably. Now, what they're saying here is that most mounts will be able to dynamically fly. In the trailer, we did see Invincible flying through, which is very cool. But yes, they said some mounts have some like animation requirements which might not work, but they're going to try and get it to work. This will be available in all flyable areas, and most of this will actually come in patch 10.2.5
I just hadn't even seen
of Dragonflight. So very soon we'll be getting a kind of dragon riding dynamic flight in like Pandaria and Northrend and areas like that, which is going to be extremely helpful. But yes, regular flying, as mentioned, static flying will be available at the launch of the War Within, but you will have to complete the max level campaign to do so, which sounds pretty easy. I mean, obviously they've just added static flying in the Dragon Isles, and this is obviously something they're looking to continue to do, which is cool.
Great. Yeah.
The dragon riding glyph system will become evergreen. They're going to probably pick and choose which ones you can go and unlock, but for the most part, some of these will be auto unlocked. Kind of the important.
I actually really liked the dragon riding glyph system early on with the little coins that you had to fly around and find. It was really nice. If you remember the streams early on that we did in Dragonflight, it was like a cool break from the questing. Like I was like, hey, let's just go get all the dragon riding glyphs right now. We flew around and did that, and we did it like without the add-on, so I could discover shit. That was a lot of fun, and it was a cool way to explore the island. I hope they keep doing stuff like that.
Ones will probably be unlocked.
I mean, obviously
they didn't mention
they will.
specifically when this will be unlocked, but it's very likely that this will be unlocked from level 10 due to Dragonflight being the standard leveling experience as of the War Within. So yeah, we'll have to see more details about that. But yes, dynamic and static flying is coming in more so in the War Within, but also we're getting a little bit of it in 10.2.5.
Nice.
And finally, a major feature for classes coming in the War Within is hero talents. So the description for this is expand your Warcraft fantasy with hero talents.
Hero talents. I got some opinions on this. So like my opinion is not whether it's good or bad, because anybody who tells you this sucks or this is good already, I don't get how they can say that. This hasn't even dropped on alpha yet. It hasn't been tested. So I'm waiting for that to happen before I can really tell you whether I think it's good or bad. But what I kind of wish was they just didn't do it. I just feel like it's a risky play. It's going to overcomplicate things. Why would you do this? It's more balancing you got to get into. More like, I just don't understand why they created this problem for themselves that didn't need to be created. If they wanted to do classes within classes stuff, basically class skins is what people wanted, I wish they just would have resurrected the glyph system. Like, bring back the glyph system, revamp it in a way where you can have this, like, you could have a glyph tree or whatever, and you could have had people create class skins, change the way your character does things, the way certain spells look. That's what people really wanted. They didn't want this. This just goes too far. I feel like it's just too risky. It's a lot of weird stat changes. A lot of this isn't even aesthetic. It's just like weird, like, oh, adding 10% strength. Like, that's all that one talent did. It's, I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes. They got to balance it out. I think alpha and beta, like, this is going to be their main focus going forward, because this has to be done right in order for it to not to be a complete failure. But my opinion on it will remain, unchanged, neutral until it's tested. But I just wish they brought back the glyph system, and that would have been the best thing.
A new level of class specialization, customization. Hero talents are modeled after well-known archetypes.
Maybe adding it to
Warcraft
current
universe,
talent trees. Yeah, maybe even that would have been a better option. But I still think this the talent blow. I think talents are in a good spot. I actually think what they did in Dragonflight with talents was really good. I like the talent trees the way they are now. So if they wanted, like I said, to create more customization and player fantasy, just bring back the glyphs, man. Revamp the glyphs, add some more detail to them, and bring that shit back.
Ranges, Farseers, and more.
Run it.
So
run
this
it
feature
back.
is a way to expand the talent point system, which was introduced in Dragonflight. This will unlock at level 71, and will have 10 nodes to unlock, and all of them will be unlocked by level 80. Now, they did put a massive list out of all of the kind of subclasses you will be able to pick from in the War Within, including like a Sand Lane Death Knight, which is like a vampire Death Knight, a Dark Ranger Hunter, a Mountain Fane Warrior. There's a ton of different and awesome combinations here, which we'll obviously see more of once we get into alpha.
I'm not saying
beta.
these class fantasies aren't cool. You can see the druid ones back here. I'm not saying they're not cool. I'm just saying I don't think they needed to like actually change statistically things, because everyone's just gonna go on Wowhead and look what the best shit is and then do that. If you didn't attach it to player power, what you would have done was given people the free choice to basically just play whatever they want. Play the aesthetic you've always wanted to play. Be the thing you've always wanted to be. Now, I mean, like, let's say for me, as a blood DK, Sandland's probably going to be the one, right? And if I pick the other choice, there's only two choices based on your spec. I don't know what it is. Rider of the Apocalypse, maybe? Maybe I like that one more aesthetically. But I'm not going to pick it if Wowhead tells me Sandland's the way to go. That gives you the best survivability. But if it was just an aesthetic choice, then of course, yeah, I'd look at both and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to read in the lore a little bit and figure out what I want to be. It takes that choice out of it when you add power progression to it.
Subclass specialization thing that you'll be able to choose for your class once you reach level 71. Very excited to see how this plays out. Obviously, as mentioned, we will see way more details once we get that first alpha build in the spring. But yes, that is it. That is all of the kind of major features coming in the War Within. There is a ton of other features coming in the War Within as well. So yeah, this isn't just it. There is so much coming in this expansion. I'm very, very excited to dive into Alpha when that eventually launches. And I'm going to be doing videos on specific features very, very soon on the channel. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know down below what you think of the War Within and its features. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I think there's so much cool evergreen features here, which just make me so excited to play World of Warcraft. And yeah, I wish we had them now, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait until the War Within releases at the end of next year. So yeah.
End of next year, August. It's going to be August, boys, I'm telling you.
If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM.
Yes, he is.
Streaming World of Warcraft, Dragonflight, PTR, and more. Over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys,
cue the music.
I'll see you next time.
Yeah, great video. Yeah, I'm excited for a lot of these features. You know, some of the more controversial ones, hero talents, we just got to wait and see. Warbands look awesome. Delves, hopefully it's an entry into world content coming back to relevancy. Hopefully going to be a great expansion. I'm excited for the World Soul Saga as a whole.